Good morning from Carcassonne in France. I had quite a good day yesterday. It looks like the sun's shining today. I've got a slightly longer ride planned today. It's going to be about 400 kilometres. There's going to be a bit of péage, motorway involved. But there's a good reason for it, which you'll see as we go along. The weather looks okay today. I've got to move Tigger within 40 minutes out of the car park, so I'll get my breakfast eaten. I'll get packed up and we'll get on the road. Carcassonne's been nice. I really should have spent more time here. I've just been here one night and that was a Sunday evening when a lot of places were closed. So there's more interesting stuff here, but there's also more interesting stuff up the road. So Carcassonne has in effect two heritage sites. On my left there you can see the gateway into the walled city. That's the merchant city, but up on top of the hill ahead of us and on my right is the castle and the citadel. That's a kind of a 20-minute walk away, and they're either side of the river, and there's an old bridge that connects the two. Fascinating place. So there we go. So this morning we're going on to the péage because there's part of this péage that I actually want to see, and that is the Millau viaduct. And if you haven't heard of it, you should. It's the tallest bridge in the world, and it was designed by the British architect Norman Foster. So just for the fun of it, I'm coming onto the péage this morning. I've got about 100 kilometres to do just so that I can ride across the Millau viaduct. Well, why not? You know, it's there. I can do it. We'll see how much fun it is. Fabulous mountains up ahead, some great scenery we're going through here. This is the reason I've ridden this whole route today, to come and ride across the Millau viaduct. The guys from Top Gear did exactly this, I don't know, 10 years ago, whenever it was. It's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. So here we go across the highest bridge in the world. Is it the highest bridge or the tallest bridge? What's the difference? I don't know. But certainly that valley down there is a long way down.
That was fascinating. There's a whole audio-visual display there about the construction of the bridge and the design of the bridge, including Norman Foster himself chatting away about the design, which was nice to see. I found it interesting anyway. Better still, there's a nice cafe. So that was a good little break. Millau Viaduct, tick. Now heading further north, still going north. Heading for the campsite that I've planned tonight, which is in the town of Lascaux. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Lascaux? I don't know. I'll find out when I get there. So, first junction past Millau, and we're off the péage onto the more interesting roads. Okay, so I've just stopped here to film this little phenomenon. If you see there, the name of the town is upside down. Now, this is not the first one I've seen like that. I've seen them all day yesterday, and I've been seeing them all day today. It's some kind of, I don't know, some kind of protest. It's not just vandalism. It's been done deliberately by somebody. Quite a stunning panorama to my right as we go around this hairpin. A bit warmer now too. It was quite cold up at the height of the Millau Viaduct, getting on for 1,000 metres above sea level, and we've been kind of coming down ever since then, and the temperature's been going up. Saw a sign saying camping. I haven't booked it, so I'm assuming they'll have a space. I imagine they will. Monday night, one small tent. Shouldn't be a problem. Fingers crossed. There's other campsites. If it is a problem, I'll find somewhere.
Well, by recent standards for me that was quite a long day's ride. It's 5 PM and I started out at 9 AM, so quite a few hours on the road. It was worth it though to go and cross the Millau Viaduct. That's the only way to do it, is get on the péage and go across. And this is a really lovely campsite. It's got an indoor pool and an outdoor pool. It's got its own cafe and bar. And I'm just walking distance from the Lascaux caves, which I'm going to go and visit tomorrow, and that's the real reason that I'm in this particular campsite. So what I've got to do now is get my tent pitched and cool down. It's quite warm. What temperature's Tigger saying? It must be about 25, 26 degrees, I think. Well, look, he's gone past 50,000 kilometres, and well, he's saying 31 degrees, but that'll be heat from the engine pushing the temperature up. I'm going to get a shower once I've got the tent up, I think, and then I might even go for a swim. Morning. It's been raining all night. The ground out here is waterlogged and muddy. Tent's wet outside, it's dry inside. It's nothing I can't cope with. I'm used to rain. Yeah, it's just extra challenges in a small tent and a motorbike. Anyway, time to get on with the day. Well, of course, the fact that it's raining puts a bit of a damper on things. But it's not the end of the world. The weather report says it's going to rain for the next 4 or 5 days. That might be a bit more of a challenge. Means I've got some miles to do in the rain. I'm well used to that though. Tigger's well used to it as well. So we're off now to go and try and find the caves at Lascaux. Quite nice. Quite like that architecture. Well, so that was Lascaux 4, and as I understand it, there are 3 competing visitor attractions here. Lascaux 2, 3 and 4. Lascaux 1 being the caves themselves, and the caves themselves have been closed since 1960, so you can't go in them. Lascaux 2 is a replica. Lascaux 3 is a tour of the hills, and Lascaux 4 here is also a replica, but it's a phenomenal replica. This place is pretty amazing. Okay, time to go and find myself some lunch now down in the town, I think. Well, quite enjoyed my visit to Lascaux 4, dramatic building, and the cave art is fascinating. I mean, the replicas look just like the real thing. If they didn't tell you it was a replica, you wouldn't know. But I'm back at the campsite now. I stopped in Town Grove for a bit of a lunch, and the rain that started in the middle of the night is still coming down. My nice grassy camping pitch is now a nice muddy camping pitch. My tent is soaked on the outside, but nice and dry on the inside. It's doing its job. Hopefully it won't be too wet during the night. And tomorrow morning I'll pack everything up wet. I'm heading over to Lusignac tomorrow, where a friend has a cottage. I can stay there for a couple of nights and hopefully get everything dry before then I push on to Paris after I've been in Lusignac. So that's the plan. Plans change, but currently that's the plan. Oh, good morning. It's currently not raining, and I don't think it's rained very much in the night. Everything's still damp, but it's time to pack up the wet tent and head off to Lusignac. Hopefully I can get things dry there. My real problem isn't the wet, it's the mud, the ground. After the downpour we had yesterday, the ground's really muddy, and just the bit around my tent where I've been going in and out is just a sea of mud. So I'm just taking everything over into the games room. I'll let it dry out there for an hour or so while I get some breakfast, and then I'll pack it all properly in there and we'll get on the road.
everything I have is kind of damp, wet, muddy, but you know, that's fine. That's camping for you. I actually don't know how far to go today, only about 100 kilometres, so I'll be there by lunchtime. I'll get a few things strung up to dry. And I feel I should tell you a little bit more about the caves of Lascaux. I didn't really tell you the history of them yesterday. So the caves, they think, are about 20,000 years old. The paintings in them are 20,000 years old. And it's a unique piece of geology because they're completely dry caves. There's no water running in the caves, and there's no water seeps in at the top, so there are no stalactites or stalagmites. And it's been completely dry for 20,000 years. At some point, centuries ago, there was a rock fall at the entrance to the cave which closed it off completely, and so for most of those 20,000 years it has been a completely sealed environment. And then at some point in the 20th century a tree started to grow in that rock fall, and then there was a storm and the tree blew over, and the tree roots pulled up some of the earth and left a small hole. Shortly after that, September 1940, 4 teenage boys were taking a dog for a walk. The dog disappeared down the hole, and of course they went down the hole to follow the dog, and they discovered the cave paintings. And they decided to keep it secret, but they only managed to keep it secret for 3 days. And so after that, the caves became quite a big tourist attraction. Tens of thousands of people went to visit them. But with so many thousands of people visiting the caves, the sealed environment for so many centuries were now broken. There were people in there, there was moisture, there were people breathing, there was modern pollution, so the painting started to deteriorate very quickly. The decision was made in 1960 to turn them into a national monument and to close them. So that's why when you go to visit, you can't actually visit the caves themselves. They're restricted only to a very small number of researchers that are allowed in to the actual caves themselves now. But they've made these fantastic reconstructions. The one at Lascaux 4 I thoroughly enjoyed, and the paintings are amazing. There you go, that's the history of what there is there. Here we come into Lusignac with it signed the right way up. That's rare around here.
So here I am in Lusignac, nice little cottage I'm in. Got a bedroom through here and a bathroom, there's another room upstairs. Just for the moment it's not raining, so I'm going to go and show you where Tigger's parked. So there's Tigger. So there is a parking space on a field just beyond the cottage, but it's easier for me to park him here on the tarmac. I'm going to see if I can get some dinner. And I brought my sketching kit with me because I spotted a little scene, a gateway opposite the cafe that I thought might make a nice sketch. So if I get a chance, I'll just sit and sketch that while I'm here. The sun's shining nicely, so it just might work. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of video, click like, click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.